Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. Welcome. We're excited to see you all and see folks joining. We will get started in just a few minutes. We're going to let a few folks join. As you're popping on in the chat, we would love to hear where you're joining us from. What's the location of your business and what type of business do you own or work for? So will help us get to know you all a little bit better. And then because we know that this does tend to be a common question that we get at the start, we will be recording this session. The recording is in progress and we will share a recording within 48 hours. So you will have that to look back on. We're going to spend about an hour together today. So do what you need to do during that time. Welcome you to take notes. If you are already set up on Nextdoor and would like to log in, whether it's on your computer or on your phone, so you can kind of follow along, we invite you to do so. Just going to take a quick look at the chat. Looks like we have folks from all over joining in many different verticals, which is great to see. So thank you again for spending your morning or afternoon with us, depending on where you're located. It looks like we have a good amount on, so I am actually going to go ahead and get us started. All right, so I first wanted to introduce myself. My name is Annie. I am very excited to be hosting this webinar today and providing some education on how you can get the most out of your time on Nextdoor and create some compelling ads to help your business grow. I am part of Nextdoor's product marketing team supporting small businesses. I have been at the company for 6 years and I am currently based in New York City. And since today is all about small businesses, I thought I would share my favorite small business that is very top of mind for me right now, which is Vlad's Heating and Cooling. They came by recently and installed our AC. I'm still getting used to the sticky, hot East Coast summers. So they have really saved the day. Could not be more grateful for them coming and setting us up appropriately. So today we will spend, as I mentioned, about 45 minutes going through some of the material that we put together for you. And then we'll spend 15 minutes at the end for Q&A. If you do have questions, encourage you to go ahead and pop those into the Q&A. This is different from the chat. So there's a specific section called Q&A. My team is here with me and they will be helping answer questions as they come through. And then anything we don't get to, we will address at the end, try to get through as many questions as we can. Our hope is that by the end of our time today, you walk away with an understanding of how to get started on Nextdoor and create a compelling ad that helps you grow. We will cover creative best practices so that you're really putting your best foot forward when you're creating content on Nextdoor. And then we will cover some key resources that we have to support you while you're using Nextdoor. So I know we have some folks joining us who are not yet on Nextdoor. Others might be set up and still kind of getting the hang of things. So I thought I would start just with a quick slide on what Nextdoor is all about. So Nextdoor is the neighborhood hub for trusted connections in the exchange of helpful information, goods, and services. And what exactly does that look like? Well, when you join Nextdoor as a neighbor in your community, this is the view that you'll see. This is if you're joining on a computer, you can also use the app on your phone. As you see here, we are on the home tab, and this will show you a main news feed. So anytime throughout this presentation, when I mention news feed, this is what I'm talking about. It's where any posts from neighbors, from small businesses, public agencies, this is where posts are shared. And it's where most people spend the most of their time when they are on Nextdoor, kind of scrolling through this newsfeed and keeping up on what people are talking about in the community. Here you'll see an example of a neighbor asking for a recommendation for a hotel for her parents to stay in, another neighbor looking to borrow a crate for her new rescue pup. So a variety of topics take place on the platform. Here on the left, you'll see some tabs, and this is additional parts of the Nextdoor experience. Here we have Discover. This is a surface area where you can find nearby neighbors that you might be interested in connecting with. It's where we'll show neighbors businesses they may be interested in. And then it's also where we will recommend groups that you might be interested in joining. We also have a dedicated for sale and free section. This is where neighbors can come to sell goods and services. So imagine you want to get rid of a dining table, you can post it here in the for sale and free section. We also have notifications, which is where Nextdoor keeps you up to date on what you missed while you were away. And messages is where you will see any direct messages between you and fellow neighbors or you and small businesses. So when it comes to small businesses on the platform, we really help you drive action through connection. So on Nextdoor, you're reaching the people who are nearest by to your business. And these are people who truly care about the success of small businesses in the neighborhood, because it really does impact their sense of place where they're choosing to live their lives. So small businesses come to Nextdoor to create an online presence, which they can do through a free business page, engage neighbors when and where it matters most, and then grow their business. And that piece is what we'll spend a lot of our time today on with Nextdoor Ads. As a company, we truly believe that when local businesses thrive, neighborhoods thrive. So we have an entire team dedicated to building out the small business experience for each and every one of you. So what sets Nextdoor apart? I know many of you are probably using other platforms to market your business. Why should Nextdoor be one of them? Well, we believe it really comes down to access to a very unique audience who has a proven track record of supporting small businesses. So we are in every single neighborhood here in the US. We have about 1 in 3 households on the platform. And since the beginning of Nextdoor's time, we have seen neighbors coming to Nextdoor to champion their local businesses. So we've seen over 55 million small business recommendations shared among neighbors. When surveying our neighbors, we found that 88% of them shop at or work with a small business at least once a week. So it is part of their habit to support small. And 90% of neighbor purchases are within 15 miles of work or home. Now, we all know that over the last 2 years, many people's homes have become their place of work. So there has truly never been a more important time to be reaching people locally. We're spending more time than ever before in our local neighborhoods and in our homes. All right, so how do you get started on Nextdoor? Well, it really all starts with a free Nextdoor business page. If you have received communication from Nextdoor, whether you're on the platform or not yet joined, you will see us encouraging you to claim your free business page. Well, that's because it's really where your journey as a business on Nextdoor begins. Taking a quick step back, I did just want to remind folks, Nextdoor is available as an app as well as on as a website, nextdoor.com, which you can access on a computer or on mobile web if you want to use like your Safari or Google Chrome web browser app. Now, for businesses specifically, we highly encourage you to download the app. It is the best way that we can keep you informed of what's happening in your neighborhood and with potential customers while you're on the go. So you can really just take your community with you. We'll notify you if people are messaging you, if they're adding recommendations to your page. So if you don't yet have the app downloaded, encourage you to take out your phone. You can use your camera app and scan these QR codes. And if you have an iPhone or an Android, both QR codes are here. Go ahead and take a moment. This will take you right to the App Store to download the app. Now, we do have 2 ways for you to get set up as a business. The first is create a neighbor account and then add a business page to this account. And the second is to create a business account. So let's walk through both of these options. So the first, adding a business page to a neighbor account. So to get started this way, you can download the app or head to nextdoor.com. You're going to go ahead and sign up as a neighbor. You're going to join your neighborhood, go through the process of setting up your neighbor account. Once you have done so, you can click your profile picture, which is going to show in the upper left corner on the app, upper right if you're joining on a computer. And here you will see the option to add a business page. If you click this, you will go through 3 steps of creating that page, and then you'll see it listed here under your profile. You can easily just click on that name and it will take you over to the business experience. So the benefit of setting up this way is that you can easily switch between your neighbor and business experience. Easy one login and you're good to go between both of those experiences. Now, alternatively, we know that some folks prefer to keep kind of personal and business separate, which is totally okay. You can also get started by just creating a business account. So if you head to nextdoor.com/business on a computer or mobile web, you will create your business account, just add your first name, last name, an email address, which can be a work email address, and then your password. You'll add your business name, an address, and pick a category that best describes your business. One thing I want to note up front that we often get a question about, Nextdoor is welcoming to all types of small businesses. So if you're a brick and mortar, if you're a service provider, if you're just starting out with a new business idea and maybe you're working out of your home, you are welcomed here. For the address, because Nextdoor is a local platform, we need to understand where you are, where your location is, so we know who to help you reach. So with this address, this can be your brick and mortar location. If you are working out of your home and you don't want to share that address publicly, you will see an option to hide from public view. But where we'll use that address is just understanding where you're located. Now, if you do decide to go the route of a business account, we highly recommend that you still join Nextdoor as a neighbor. You can use a personal email address and create a neighbor account that is separate. But this is really the best way for you to grasp what Nextdoor is all about, what are neighbors talking about, and how can you add relevant content into the neighborhood conversation. Now, before diving into really the meat of what this webinar is all about, which is Nextdoor Ads, I just wanted to ground us first in the navigation of the business experience. So you're seeing 2 screens here. The first is if you were to join on your computer, you're logged in on your computer. The other is through the app. You'll see that the experiences are the same. So on the left here, there are 5 tabs. And these are the same whether you're on your computer or the app. The first tab is your page. So this is really where you're setting up that online presence. You can kind of think of it as your digital storefront. It's where neighbors are discovering you and navigating to learn more about your business. So when you post on the platform or your business shows up in search results, if a neighbor clicks on your business name, they're taken to your page. So it's really important that you take time to set this up, add a logo, add some photos to kind of help bring your business to life, make sure that your contact information is up to date, your hours are up to date, just all the rich information that you would want someone to know about your business when they land on this page. I will be spending a majority of the time today talking about this ads tab, so I'm going to skip over it for now. The next tab is posts. So if you are a verified business on Nextdoor, and a team member of mine is going to actually put a link in the chat right now for how to get verified if you're not yet verified, but you have access to unlimited posts to neighbors who are in your immediate vicinity, your immediate neighborhood. So the reach is a little more limited than what we offer with ads, but posts are a really great way just to engage your local community. So we encourage you to get verified and take part in posting, which is separate from ads. And I'll go through that in a little more detail in just a second. Finally, we have inbox. This is where neighbors can reach out to you on the platform. And we have the notification center, which is where we'll keep you updated on what's happening while you're away from Nextdoor. All right, and with that, we are going to get into the main part of today's webinar, which is how to grow your business with Nextdoor ads. Now, one thing I would love just to get a quick assessment of is how many people have already created an ad on Nextdoor or have yet to create one. I'm going to try to launch a poll. Let's see if you all can see this. If you can, go ahead and start. Yes, awesome. I'm seeing answers coming in. This is just helping me understand kind of where everyone is at when it comes to Nextdoor ads. It looks like most folks have yet to create an ad. We have a few joining us who have a live ad running. Awesome to see you both here. We'll close this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All righty, thank you so much. Okay, so let's continue on. So as I mentioned, everything ads related is going to take place on that dedicated ads tab. So that's where we are. And the first step is to set a goal. So what are you looking to achieve with your ad? Right now, we have 3 options for you. The first is increase website visits. This does tend to be the most popular selection that we've seen so far. And it's a great option to choose if you're looking to grow awareness of your business and guide people to learn more about your products and services. Now, one thing I want to say up front, if you do not have a website, that's okay. You can still use this ad format. You can just use your Nextdoor business page link, and that can work as your website, as the destination that you take people. Now, the second option is promote a sale. And this is great if you have a special offer that you're looking to get the word out about, like a percentage off sale or a buy one, get one deal. And then finally, we have get more direct messages. And this is great if you're looking to spark conversation with potential customers who are looking to learn more about you. So we have set our goal. Now, step 2 is going to be building your ad. And depending on the goal you selected, there's a different format for each one that was designed to help you achieve that goal. So I'll take you through each one by one. The first is increase website visits. So for this ad, you're going to add a short description, no more than 70 characters. You'll add a photo in a 1x1 square, and then you'll choose your call to action from the drop down. Now, a call to action is what you want a neighbor to do when they see your ad. So it depends on kind of what you're looking to achieve. If you're a retail shop, for example, and you have products listed on your website and you want to drive purchases, maybe you'll choose buy now or shop now. If you are a service provider, and really for you, it all starts with getting a quote, you can choose get quote. And maybe one more example, if you are looking to hire, Nextdoor is a great place for that because you're reaching all people who live locally. Maybe you want to drive to an application form and you choose apply now. So up to you what you select based on what you're looking to achieve with the ad. And then the final step is adding that website link. Again, this can be a website that you've set up for your business. If you don't have one, it can also be your Nextdoor page or really any other URL. Now, this ad is going to show in the news feed. So remember, that's the main screen, that home tab where neighbors come every day to communicate with their local community. It's where the eyeballs are, and your ad is going to show there in the news feed. You'll see here it has your business name, that logo pulling through from your page, and then the ad that you've created. All right, for promote a sale, we have a fairly similar looking ad format. You're going to add your description, which is going to be 70 characters. This is where you're going to want to state what that offer is. So in this example, get 15% off any lawn care service. You'll then add a photo, which is a 2x1 rectangle, so slightly different from the previous ad format because of how it displays in the newsfeed to neighbors. So this will be a rectangle, and then your call to action. The default is message, so it would drive any of those DMs into that inbox on your business page. But you can also choose shop now, call, or email. Depending on your selection, you may need to add some additional information like a URL, a phone number, or your email. With all of these ad formats, you can preview them. So you'll see what your ad looks like before it goes live, before you purchase and publish it. Now, this ad is also going to show in the newsfeed. You can see here, shows up with that nice big green call to action button here in the home tab. All right, and then our final option is get more direct messages. And this ad looks different from the previous two. For this ad, you are going to select between 3 and 10 questions. The ad will show 3 at a time. And really the best way to think about this is these are questions that you're open to answering from potential customers. So kind of think of them as like an icebreaker. What are those common questions you always get from customers that kind of get the conversation going? Now, for best results, we do encourage you to customize your own questions, which you can do from this add custom prompt option. You really know your business best. You know what those common questions are. So we encourage you to take time to add your own, but we also have a number of default questions that you can choose to use, and you'll just click this little switch to enable it. Now, your ad will show in the news feed, but here you can see it looks slightly different to the previous two. It's showing 3 questions at a time. So if you've enabled more than 3 questions, we will rotate through those. So each time your ad shows, it's going to show a different selection of questions. And when a neighbor wants to engage with this ad, all they have to do is click on one of the questions. It opens up a direct message with your business using that question as the starting point of the conversation. Alrighty, so we have now set our goal and we've built our ad. So the third step is choosing your target audience. There are 2 ways to go about this on Nextdoor. Both are based on location. So the first is using a radius dial, which you can expand from 1 to 30 miles. As you expand it left to right, you will see an estimated reach of how many people you're likely to reach with your ad. Alternatively, if you have a good understanding of what zip codes your target audience is in, we now are also offering a way to target by zip code. So you can choose this selection. We'll show you a list of nearby zip codes for you to choose from. You can also search for other nearby if they're not showing up on the list, and you can select as many as you'd like to target. Now, 2 things important to note. If you don't yet really have a good idea of your target audience, that's okay. We recommend starting larger and refining as you learn. Target audience does not directly impact the cost of your ad, so it's okay to go a little wider and then adjust over time. And you can edit this selection at any point. So as your ad is running, if you want to change that target audience, you will be able to do so, and I'll show you how in just a few more slides. All right, now the 4th step is where you determine what this ad is going to cost. You will set your budget by picking a daily budget. Here we recommend $3, $5, or $10 per day. You can also pick your own selection by just clicking customize budget if you want to do $7 a day or $4 a day. In this example, let's say we went with $5 per day. You will be paying upfront $155 for this ad to run for 31 days. And you will be billed every 31 days until you cancel. So you can kind of think of this more similar to a subscription model where you are paying upfront for those 31 days. Let's say on day 25, you decide you want to cancel your ad. You can come in and do so, and your ad will continue to run for those 6 days up to day 31 that you previously paid for, but then you will not be charged moving forward. So you won't have any additional future charges. This model is really keeping in mind the businesses who don't have the time to come in and manage whether their ads are running every day. So it's great for just having continuous awareness of your business, driving new leads, and then promoting any of those evergreen offerings. And by evergreen, we mean kind of always on. So imagine like a new customer discount that you kind of are always offering. All right, and we are on step 5, the final step of creating an ad on Nextdoor. You are going to review your selections, add your payment, and publish. Now, after hitting publish, your ad will go into a short review period, typically less than 24 hours. And this is truly to the benefit of neighbors who are seeing your ads and to you. We want to make sure that your ad is set up appropriately, that it looks good, it's following guidelines, and it's going to succeed on the platform. So to increase your chances of ad approval, we encourage that you avoid 3 things. The first is too much text on the photo that you add to your ad. This is the #1 reason that ads get denied today. It tends to make them look overly commercial. Oftentimes folks will scroll right by because sometimes they can look a little spammy when it's the photos covered in text. The second is using all caps in ad copy. Really discourage this. It, again, kind of comes off overly commercial and maybe sometimes kind of aggressive when you see all caps. And then third, any poorly cropped images, really encourage you just to preview your ads before you pay and publish so that you can make sure everything looks as you want it. All right, so let's say your ad is live, it's been approved, it's running on Nextdoor in that news feed where neighbors are coming every day to communicate with one another. You want to check up on the performance of your ad. Well, once you have a live ad running, you have a dedicated ads dashboard, which is where you can go to see how many people are viewing and clicking your ad. So to get to this ads dashboard, you're going to navigate back to the ads tab and then click manage ads. You're going to first land on this screen, this purple screen here. This is a summary view of your metrics. If you have more than one ad running, we're going to be showing you cumulative results across the various ads you have running. If you are interested in seeing metrics just specific to one particular ad, you can click on it and it will bring you to this more detailed view of your performance metrics. And this is also where you can edit your selections. So as I mentioned before, you can edit your target selections. You can edit the ad itself, maybe tweak the description or the photo that you previously used, and then you can adjust your budget. Now, this is also where you will come to cancel your ad if you need to do so at any time. So you'll, again, click on each specific ad you have running, and that's where you can edit and cancel at any time. All right, I know that was a lot of information. We've made it through the 5 steps to creating an ad. We will now continue on to creative best practices. If you have any questions, I see we have a ton in the Q&A, but feel free to drop any in regarding the previous slides, and I will continue us on. Just doing a quick time check, we look good. Okay, so Nextdoor's approach to effective content creation really comes down to 3 things. First, be neighborly. Second, be local. And third, be useful. So as you spend more time on Nextdoor, hopefully you join as a neighbor and you get to know what Nextdoor is all about. You'll really see that these three things embody the platform. Neighbors are coming to Nextdoor to communicate with their neighbors, with businesses, with public agencies. It is in nature a local platform. That's what sets us apart. And a lot of the time, you'll see that people are coming here to help each other. So as those examples earlier showed, one's asking for a recommendation for a hotel, one's asking if they can borrow a crate. Public agencies share useful content about what's happening in the local community. And you as a business can take part in this as well. So as you get used to Nextdoor and you're creating content, keep these three things in mind: be neighborly, be local, and be useful. Now, when it comes to creative best practices, and this goes for ads as well as posts, we have 5 tips. And on the next slide, I'm going to show you an example of a kind of like do this ad and don't do this ad. So it will bring these to life for you. The first is to keep it conversational. On Nextdoor, you can really write as if you're speaking directly to a neighbor or directly to a customer who's coming into your store. We encourage you to use casual language and to keep it positive, keep it kind. That's what the platform's for. Stay close to home. So the popular topics on Nextdoor have to do with home, family, and community, so you can tailor your copy and photography accordingly. As I mentioned previously, to help yourself get approval for the ads you're creating, we encourage more photos, less text. So we've found that lifestyle photography is really what performs best. Try to avoid images with words on them. Don't blend in. So as neighbors are scrolling through the newsfeed, really bold, colorful photography is what kind of catches people's eye. So just try to avoid photos that have a lot of white edging, because you will kind of blend into the background. And then finally, stay focused. When you're setting your goal, this is your moment to kind of take a pause and think, what am I actually looking to achieve with running this ad? And then stay focused while you build your ad. Think through the concise copy and then tie that call to action button back to that copy, so you're really communicating a clear message of what you want neighbors to do when they see your ad. All right, so let's see this in action. Here we have 2 examples. The one on the left is what we would encourage. The one on the right, we would discourage. So I'm gonna call out a few points about each. First, starting with the good example. You'll see here, Cindy's Nails and Spa took the time to add that logo to their business page. That does show up in their ad. So it just sets you up on the right foot. You look professional. Now with the copy, you can see no uppercase. It's friendly. It's supportive of people who are probably tired from day to day and just looking for a little self-care. And it's really clear that if you book online, you're going to get 15% off. Now in the image, you can see nice, colorful image. With one look at it, you understand what the business is offering. And then the CTA button, Book Now, ties right back into what the copy of the ad said. Now, an example of sometimes what we see on the platform that we just know doesn't perform as well. First off, if your business does not have a logo, this is what shows up next to your business name. So you can just see it's not nearly as exciting. Definitely important to take the time to add that logo. The description of the ad, all caps. And you can see kind of, especially with the image that they chose, you can see how it feels kind of overly commercial, almost spammy. And with the image, you can see that they most likely took something that was maybe like a flyer that they had created and used that as the image. But you will notice it didn't crop well. It says exactly what the description of the ad said, so it's not really adding anything more. The white edging kind of blends in with the background. And then the Learn More CTA doesn't really tie back to what they said in the description. So overall, we want to add that logo. We want to keep that description clear and concise, friendly, add a nice colorful photo that represents your business or your offering, and then choose the appropriate CTA. All right, some additional tips and tricks. As I just mentioned, that logo is so important because we've actually seen that it generates 4 times as many views compared to pages that don't have a logo. Now, we understand not every business has a logo, and that's okay. We encourage you to use a picture of yourself or your products. You can see from the previous slide, this is a picture of nail polish bottles. So it doesn't necessarily need to be a logo like this one from Oasis Landscaping. We just encourage you to keep it simple because of where it shows up on Nextdoor. Sometimes it's rather small. Then we also encourage you to add a cover image. This can be a photo of your employees or customers. It can be your place of business, products, or past work that you're proud of. This just makes your page vibrant from the moment that someone lands on it, and it's another surface area that you can communicate what you're all about. Now, the only things that we discourage in both of these places is using your business card, kind of similar to using like a flyer in the photo of your ad, tends to not crop super well. It has the exact same information that's already going to be listed on your business page. And overall just sometimes looks a little busy. Alrighty, and then our final tip, we totally understand that not everybody has high quality photography. It's time consuming to get, it can be expensive. So we don't think that should keep you from being able to create beautiful content on Nextdoor. So 2 sites that we recommend you check out. The first is pexels.com. and the other is unsplash.com. And both of these are free stock photography sites. So you can download the photos for free and you can use them for commercial use. And from myself exploring these platforms, I've yet to find a vertical where they didn't have something that you could use related to your business category. So both are great sites to bookmark if you don't have good photography of your own. Alrighty. The final thing before we get to Q&A, and I see we're pacing well, so we will have a good amount of time for Q&A. So we ultimately just want you all to know that we are on your side. We want to see you thrive. We want to see you succeed on Nextdoor. We know that neighbors are very excited about businesses joining the platform. They love to champion you. So we want you to know about some resources that we have to support you through your time on Nextdoor. The first is our dedicated help center. So this is where you can go to really get pretty much any question that you have about the Nextdoor experience or about the different products that we offer. We have a ton of great help content. And this is also where you can get in touch with our dedicated small business support team. Now, our team does offer support through email today. They're highly trained. They're here to help you. So at any time, if you need support, when you're within your business experience on Nextdoor, if you go to the settings tab, you will see a link that says Get Help. It's going to be in blue. If you click that, it will bring you here to this help center. Now, we also have a team dedicated to creating helpful content for you on our small business website and blog, as well as a dedicated resource center. And this is where you can find helpful getting started guides. You can find video tutorials and how-to resources for you to succeed on the platform. So a team member of mine is going to share links to these 3 resources. Definitely encourage you to bookmark them so that you can come back to them whenever you need help. Alrighty, and with that, we have done it. We have gotten through the content that we prepared for today, so we will go into Q&A. At this point, we hope you understand the 5 steps to creating an ad on Nextdoor, starting with that goal. What are you looking to achieve? Building your ad, following those creative best practices we've shared, choosing your local audience, setting your budget, and then finally paying and publishing your ad. Alrighty, I'm gonna take a quick sip of water and then I will start addressing some of the Q&A. I see that we have a ton that has been added here. Unfortunately, we won't be able to get through every question. I know my team is trying to respond to as many as we can. If we don't get to your question, feel free to check out some of these resources that I just covered. The Help Center, our business blog, or the Resource Center, you're likely to find answers to your questions there. Alrighty. Getting to our first question here, I'm just going to refresh my page to make sure I'm seeing everything that has come through. Okay, so a first question that we have, how do I view messages from leads? So if you remember when I was going over kind of the navigation of the business experience, the inbox is where you are going to see any direct messages coming from neighbors. This includes direct messages that are coming from that ad if you were to choose the Get More Direct Messages ad, as well as if a neighbor found your page through search results or through Discover, or maybe a neighbor recommended you. They can also message you through your page. So any message from a business, or excuse me, from a neighbor is going to be found in that inbox, and that is where you can respond. What is the difference between posts and ads? Yes, this is a great question, because I think oftentimes folks might think of those things as the same, when in fact they are 2 different offerings on Nextdoor. So let's start with posts. As I mentioned, these are free if you are a verified business on Nextdoor, and they allow you to reach your immediate neighborhood, as well as any neighbors who have chosen to connect with your business and basically indicating to us that they want to see your content in their newsfeed. Now, posts are a really great way to engage your local community. You can easily share updates, you can get feedback. This is one thing I think is super powerful about posts that not everyone taps into. Imagine you are thinking through like a new fall menu and you just want to get a quick insight from the community, like, do you like this? What would you like to see? A post is a great way to get that feedback, because neighbors can comment on it and give you that direct feedback. You can reply to their comments. So it's really a way for you to kind of engage those local neighbors. You can also use it to promote an event. So kind of list goes on in terms of how you can use those posts. Again, you have an unlimited amount when you're verified, but compared to ads, the reach is more limited. Now, ads is of course what we covered today. So you all know at this point, it's a paid offering. It allows you to reach neighbors up to 30 miles from your business, or you can pick specific zip codes to target. And this is really the best way for you to get in front of more people on Nextdoor and drive more business your way. Now, I wouldn't think of it as one or the other. We encourage you to use both. They kind of serve different purposes. And so if you have the time to get engaged on Nextdoor, we encourage you to run an ad. We encourage you to use posts. Kind of the more that people see your business name in their newsfeed, the more likely they are to think of you when they need a business like yours. All right, next question here. How do I know if my ads are working? This is a great question. It's super important. So as I kind of went over previously, you have a dedicated ads dashboard. So once you have a live ad running, this is where you can go to see how often your ad is being viewed and how often it's being clicked on. Now, something that we highly recommend you kind of get in the habit of is asking customers where they heard of you. So if customers call in, make it part of your habit at the end of the call to be, hey, do you mind sharing where you heard of us? Or if you have a contact us form on your website, add in as a last question, where did you hear from us? And you can list the various places that you're marketing on. This will help you understand which platforms seem to be working for you best, where you're getting the most traffic from. Alrighty, let's look through. How can I get my name out there and get more recommendations on Nextdoor? Yes, so recommendations are a huge part of Nextdoor. As I mentioned, over 55 million small business recommendations have already been shared by neighbors. Neighbors really use it as a way to understand whether this is a business that my neighbors love and that they would recommend and I can trust working with them or visiting their store. So once you have your page set up on Nextdoor, you do have a way to get that page link. Let me actually just, don't mind me, I'm gonna scroll back because I wanna show you all where to get this page link. So when you're on your page, this is the page tab here. If you click this little arrow, this is going to allow you to copy the link to your page, or you can share it. You'll see the option to like share it over email or share it on other social media. If you grab that link, we encourage you to let folks know on your other social media, let them know you now have a presence on Nextdoor. Let them know that it's a place for them to leave you a recommendation. As you work with customers or people stop in on your shop, or you send out maybe a newsletter and email to some of your loyal customers, add the link to your Nextdoor page, ask them to recommend you there. It's a great way just to build that reputation, that word of mouth. That's really powerful. Other ways to get your name out there that I've already mentioned, you can create posts to share kind of consistent updates, and then of course create ads. How do I get set up if I have two different businesses? Do I need two different accounts? So for this question, if you have an account already set up, you can add up to 10 business pages to that account. And kind of how I mentioned, you are able to switch between your neighbor profile and your business page. In a similar way, you'll be able to switch between your various business pages. So again, you can add up to 10 pages to one account. And if you have different types of businesses, just make sure that you're taking time again to update that page so folks know what your business offers. What if I want to run different ads to different zip codes? So you can run multiple ads on Nextdoor, and probably the best way to go about this is to decide what you want to run in each zip code and choose the right ad format for whatever you're looking to achieve. When you get to that third targeting step, go ahead and pick one zip code that matches that ad that you're looking to run in that area, publish that ad. Then you can go back, you can create a second ad. Maybe this one looks different because you're looking to achieve something different in another zip code. Go ahead and create that ad and then pick that different zip code on that targeting step. Again, when you get to your dashboard, you will see all of your live ads listed, and you can click into each one individually to see metrics related to it, to make any edits, and to cancel if you need to. All right, we have one other question here. Do you recommend connecting your business account with your personal account or keeping them separate? So this really is up to you. If you are going to be managing your business page yourself, I think it's really easy if you connect it to a neighbor account, because that way you only need one login to get onto Nextdoor. And then you can kind of toggle back and forth between your neighbor experience and your business experience. But if you are a business who maybe has some employees and you might have one of them use your login credentials to log on to Nextdoor to help you manage your experience, then for those situations, probably best just to set up a separate business account so that they don't then have access into what you see as a neighbor, your neighbor experience. All right. I don't see any additional questions coming through the doc. It looks like we're able to answer a lot of them in the Q&A. So as I mentioned, we've been recording this entire session. This Q&A will be part of that, so you can reflect back on any of our questions. Let me just do a quick refresh and make sure I'm not missing anything. Awesome. Now, one PSA before everyone hops off. And again, thank you so much for spending an hour with us. We hope this information was helpful. As soon as I end the webinar, you'll see a quick survey. We'd love your feedback on how helpful this was, what else would be helpful in the future, what we can change and continue to improve on. But one quick PSA before you all drop off. We are continuing with our webinars, and we do have another webinar upcoming on August 25th at 11 a.m. Sorry, I should have put that is PST. This is part of our Keep It Real webinar. So some of you may have joined us for our inflation webinar, which we had July 26th. This one is how to recession-proof your business. We know a very important topic with today's economy. So we will be doing this in partnership with the CEO of ARS Roofing and Square's CMO, and then our very own Brianne from our head of small business product marketing. So a team member of mine is sharing the registration link with you right now in the chat if you would like to join us for that. We will, of course, keep you up to date on any future webinars. Again, just so grateful that you spent time with us today. We hope this was useful, and we're excited to see you start growing your businesses on Nextdoor. So thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.